Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, Dr. J.
And welcome to A View from the
You from the
City. Man, I'm drinking water. I feel awful, but I'm going to make it work.
You gonna make it work. Bless your sweetheart. Let me say, first of all, I'm loving that new intro. It is really nice. It's so jazzy. And of course, I love the song. I always dance to the song. So let's keep that going.
Thank you.
You're looking
For those
lovely.
that do not know, I produced the opening intro. So thank you for that. I appreciate you.
I was like, look at that. I love it. Leveling
We
up.
get better and better. We get better and better.
Just leveling up. Getting ready for that real professional blow up. Hey,
Melissa. You should be able to stroll up, and the link is there for anybody that wants to join us tonight, because it's about to get juicy. Listen, before we get into all the juicy news, let's start off with our Black History facts. So I was watching the Jeffersons, and this guy started talking about George called him an Uncle Tom, and he started to tell George about the real Uncle Tom. And so the real Uncle Tom, I thought I had a picture. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, we got a little backwards. Tell us about it, Dr. J.
But the real Uncle Tom, he was a reverend. He was a former slave. He actually once he learned the scriptures, he started preaching, and his master sent him to deliver some slaves in another state. And once he crossed Ohio, the free people there was trying to get him to stay there and leave the free people, because Ohio was a free state. And so, but he was a man of his word, and he said that he told his master that he was going to deliver these slaves, and so that's what he's going to do. Years later, he actually regretted not letting them go free, because the slaves were sold in the Deep South, and slavery was brutal. And so he finally became free and went to Canada. And the queen was so impressed with his story that she gave him a portrait of herself. And Arthur Stowe, who wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin, actually heard about Josiah Henson. That's his name, Henson. Josiah Henson. And once she heard about Josiah Henson, she used him as the motivation for her book. However, to appease the white people during that time, she made him soft and subservient to white people, hence the term Uncle Tom. So I hope somebody learned something today. That's
very good. I didn't know his real name, so thank you for letting me know that.
Reverend Josiah Henson. And I think I have a picture to show you what he looked like. So go and do some research. If you go to my page, I also put a link to a YouTube video that I watched. So I went and
Okay.
did more research, and the YouTube video is really, really good. So go to my
Okay.
page and watch it.
I'll check that out. So I have Rebecca Lee Crumpler. She's new, hadn't heard of her. So Rebecca Lee Crumpler was the first Black woman to become a doctor of medicine in the United States. How about that? She was the first Black woman to earn a medical degree in the United States. She battled, of course, deep-seated prejudice against women and African Americans in medicine. She earned her degree in Boston, and she spent time in Richmond, Virginia after the Civil War. She was caring for the freed slaves that had gotten free, supposedly. She also published her book of medical discourses. So it chronicles her experience as a doctor and provides guidance on maternal and child health. She graduated from New England Female Medical College in 1864, and she became the first female African American doctor. So her official degree was Doctress of Medicine. I had never heard that anywhere. So she had a Doctress of
Wow,
Medicine.
wow,
Okay. And so she practiced in Boston. And then she went back to Civil War. I mean, she went back to Richmond, Virginia at the end of the Civil War and worked there as a missionary. And she passed away in Boston in 1895. And she is buried in Fairview Cemetery. I had never
wow,
heard of her. So
wow.
Rebecca Lee
Oh
Crumpler,
wow.
first Black woman to become
Rebecca,
a
come
doctor
on,
of medicine.
Rebecca.
Rebecca. They probably called her Becky.
So I want to shout out to my uncle. Joe Hain is watching, tuning in all the way from Chula, Mississippi. We appreciate
Uh-oh.
you. That's right, tuning
The
in to
micropolitan city. All right.
Ooh, y'all ready to come down the road? I need Jay to be here. Hold on, I think Melissa is here. Let me get Melissa in here.
Baby, start the car up. It's full of gas. Hey, Lissa. Baby, Lissa is relaxed and ready. I mean, she is relaxed and ready.
Please excuse. It's hair washing night. I had to get
Look,
it done.
you looking like
Hey,
Sade now.
the
I
word
couldn't.
said, "Come as you are."
Okay,
So
well,
come as
and
you
just
are.
so y'all know, I threw on a shirt over my nightgown. So.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
No
Ain't
problem.
nothing
No
wrong with
problem.
pampering yourself.
Listen,
So
if
this,
I tell y'all some of these secrets that I do to do the show,
Right.
right?
Right.
What you about to say, Melissa?
I heard you say, "Come down the road."
Oh yeah, baby. We
What you
finna
got,
come down
Melissa? What
your
you got?
road.
Let me find the headline.
Ooh, this
So,
right here might take all night long. When
so
I
Well,
say Marco, you say
Polo,
ooh, baby.
y'all.
I
This
don't
has
even know where to
been.
start.
This right here is a prime example of God don't like ugly and He ain't too fond of pretty.
Not pretty, baby.
ooh,
That's right.
When you make it your life business
Come on.
to discuss, ruin, talk about, threaten, post people's home address, threaten their lives, their children,
oh
where they
wow.
work, their families' addresses. Um,
When you make people miserable.
Karma is the baddest bee on the block, and God is still in charge.
Mm.
Yes,
Um,
baby. Yes.
so
You
Not the
reap what you
baddest.
sow. Mhm.
he, I am thankful for the marshals. I am thankful that Clinton Police is who they are. And to be honest with y'all, as sad as it is that someone had to lose their life, even my 14-year-old came to me and said, Mama, the man that lost his life came to our school and was a daddy to boys whose daddies never showed up for stuff, Mama. I can't even
Yeah.
believe that this happened, Mama. My 14-year-old
Yeah.
daughter is affected by this.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. It's sad.
when you lay with dogs, you gonna get fleas. And
Or when you send dogs after people, that's what he would do. Go after
and
people, make them
and
miserable.
it's a real sad thing, but and this may sound a little crazy. I hate that it happened at all. Let me preface that by what I'm
Right.
about to say. But it could not have happened in a better city. Do you understand me?
Oh wow.
Had it happened in the city of Jackson, I'm not so sure we would have found
That they
him
would have got him.
in this time span.
He said this
Um,
time.
So Jay is here. Hey Jay.
Hello,
Jay,
hello.
hey, my friend, Juice E News.
Jay,
Music news.
we
So
coming
I've
down the
heard.
road.
So I've heard.
We coming down the road today.
Oh Lord, not coming down the road.
Well, one thing about it, so many others have come down the road. We might as well too.
Hey,
You know,
Everybody on the
I
same road
probably
tonight.
want to really send a shout out and a prayer to the family because I know the people. I know his sister. I know his in-laws, and it really hits home for a
mhm.
lot of people, and so it's really really sad.
Yeah.
And
It,
do anybody know any of the details of what actually happened? What you got?
And nerve.
okay, so I have a really dear friend who has been tortured by this man for 6 years.
Mm,
6 years.
mm.
He has threatened him. He has done some real terrible things to the point where law enforcement has had to, I mean, local law enforcement went and checked on my friend when this happened because there was a post made about
Yeah.
something about God don't worry about me, worry about the
Mhm.
ones,
That I'm gonna
plural,
send
I'm
to you.
going to send to you. So because his local police department knew what was going on, they went and checked on him while they were still searching for said person. Um,
Sad.
apparent now there's a lot of speculation, and it was apparently a love triangle,
That's what I
um
was hoping it wasn't.
and here's the female that was involved in this has not too long been out of prison from um
Murder.
unaliving
Oh,
unaliving
She's
her
a felon. She's a felon, convicted
wow,
felon.
wow, wow.
I
for
say what it is for you, a friend, convicted
okay
felon.
okay for murder. She spent what 15 years in prison for taking someone's life, a man's life.
Another name.
And is the
And
guy that got killed, Melissa, was he the father of her daughter?
no. He's not the
Okay.
father of any of her children. He just so happened to be caught up in her and
And the dad
and
said, he said, I told him to leave her alone.
and it there was a tussle in the yard. Now this is per children who lived in the neighborhood. There
Mm,
was a fight in the yard.
that's even
After
worse.
he said person was gotten the best of, and so she ran in the house, Polo ran in the house, the other gentleman ran in the house, and when he got to the door, Polo was standing there waiting on him.
Then I heard
And
he shot him 10 times.
he emptied the clip.
Oh, mercy, Jesus.
Hmm
So
Wow.
And
so I was gonna say
so,
the other tragedy here is the fact that children saw any of this happen and
hmm
that this person is dead. You know,
hmm
another black man killed at the hands of another black man. And again, children are traumatized by this and they see it and it will become, it may make them just numb to this type of stuff. Or,
hmm
for a while, they may even have nightmares about it. It's
hmm
so many other people affected by his actions. But once again, his actions have caused distress, trauma, all of this, the same stuff you've always caused because of
hmm
your actions. But this time it's going to cost him really, really big. And it has cost the man his life. These children probably going to
hmm
have nightmares and it's terrible.
Hmm. It's
Jay.
it's beyond unfortunate. It's my daughter. My
Yep.
daughter is sad for the young men who are at her elementary school. Mind you, she's headed to high school. And she was like, "Mama, who's gonna be a daddy? Who's gonna show up for dads with donuts now?"
Yeah. It's sad.
And I'm a crybaby, and it made me sad. It made
Oh,
me
You know.
sad that
Yep.
my 14-year-old is concerned about
Yep.
other
So you got
other
one
people.
going, one in the ground, one going to jail, and this person that all this happened over is just gonna pick another person and move on with her life.
Yeah, it's sad. It's affected. I mean, I can't thousands and thousands of people. Literally, this has affected thousands of people and young people too, because there are young men who've had no type of male presence in their life,
Yeah. And
you
whose
know.
example has probably been, maybe for some of them, an example of men being violent towards each other. And then this guy who tries to make a difference, this happens to him. So
so
it
my
comes
uncle
right back
make a
to him.
good point. He was like the suspect need prayer too.
He
During
does, his
times
family
like this,
does too.
it's so hard for us to really um, just show empathy to a person who we feel as though they committed a heinous crime, and so. But we definitely lift him up in prayer because he definitely is going to need it. Jay,
Yeah.
all right, Jay, what you got? We know you got the scoop.
He
What really
better have
happened?
that fan. It's a pop
I
fan
need it.
night.
I need it. I'm barely making it.
What
I
what
got
you
a
finna
fever
believe?
and I'm trying to
Yes,
make it
honey.
work.
You're gonna pop that a lot tonight.
Fan me, fan up, fan me. Oh, that feels good.
Woo,
Oh,
cause it's hot. We got some hot
yes.
topics tonight. Woo.
Well, I
Woo.
mean, here's my take. Um, I feel like we are in a time of now cry later. Anyway, everything is funny and fun and all games until it's you,
Until it's your
Until
family.
it's not. Yeah.
until it's at home, until it's what I'm saying, until it's really happening, until you really having to walk in it. You know, everything is such a joke. About the alleged in this case, and all of the stories and all of the political people and all of the city officials that he tried to destroy and tear down, and they had so many people who really rallied behind this
What he was
person,
doing.
and a lot
Yeah.
of women. And I felt like you all are idiots, and that's my opinion. And the word of choice is idiot, and I'm sticking with it because that's the type of that's just the type of behavior that was being displayed, idiotic behavior. It's one thing to report news, it's one thing to report facts. It's another thing to literally, what I'm saying, go and
Just pouring
dig
dirt on people. Yeah.
up, things, and a lot of it untrue, a lot of it falsified documents, just unnecessary stuff just to get the attention of people to then, imply whatever you would like to imply on certain people. Um,
Yeah.
what I do believe though, you know, I am so sorry for the family of the deceased because um a lot of people don't understand the whole thing spiritually, and David happened to be that sacrificial lamb to get rid of what needs to be gotten rid of and to bring a real attention to what need to be brought attention to. And I know it's going to be hard for a lot of people to understand it, especially kids and family members, stuff, the loved ones. But when you can get to a point to understand it, then you'll get it, you'll understand it. I'm thankful. I didn't know Davis personally. I just knew of him through other people. So I'm thankful for the life that he did lead, because he went down the road as well. He was one of those that happened to be able to change, which is rare, but he happened to be one to change and change for the better. And it's just like what Denzel told Will Smith, it's when you're at your highest height, that's when the
The
enemy
enemy come for you. Yeah.
comes in for you. So we have to be prepared for stuff like that. Easier said than done, but
Mm-hmm.
we definitely have to be prepared for stuff like that. Have to keep our eyes open, ears open, you know. So that's all I really want to say about it. But I think I shared in our link, in our group, some personal messages between he and a friend of mine, that I thought was mind blowing, but she still had the gumption to put it out there. She wasn't afraid to let it be known, you know.
Wow, wow,
So
wow. Look,
that's why I sent it, and I didn't mind discussing it either, because she wasn't afraid to do that. And then she tagged and sent all that stuff to Clinton Police Department, um, and some more officials and stuff like that. So my prayers are with the alleged as well, but also for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So I
you
mean,
know,
55 and going to do some time.
an old fool.
Yeah.
I just believe that life and death is in the power of the tongue. And the things that he was speaking over other people's lives, and people actually followed, and they couldn't wait for more. And it's like um, um, they were all sucked in. And
It was
so,
Eating
entertainment to them.
cross,
It was
eating that
funny
pig cross.
entertainment. All
you
fun
know,
Yeah.
and games.
To
even
them.
people who we deem as leaders were behind him and standing side to side with him after he was doing these most heinous
Heinous.
posts
You even
about
had
people.
ministers, people standing up in the pulpits and supposed to be praying for people.
So
So
we can't want to jump on every bandwagon just because it's moving. So we got to make sure the bandwagon is going where
In
we
the
are
right
going.
direction.
this
Wide. What's the scripture? Wide is the road that lead to destruction, and narrow.
Narrow. Yeah.
Many people
Yeah.
actually, few people actually find it. So walk the narrow path, you guys, and even if you stand alone, be able to stand on your own. So
And don't be entertained by, making other people's lives miserable or finding dirt on them and exposing them, because even the words say you don't need to laugh and be joyful when somebody else gets,
but what's so
down.
sad
vengeance is
about
mine,
that
said the
is
Lord.
that is such a lucrative um
Yep.
area,
Business.
genre.
Mhm.
The demise of other people and the
Yep.
fact of just terrorism
No
of people
discretion.
is such
Yeah,
a
no discretion.
lucrative genre. If you think about it,
I know a
most.
lot of people. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You fine. You fine. Go love.
I know I've seen a lot of people kind of make jokes about it. There's so many memes out there about it now, but there's also on the other end of that, a lot of people are breathing a sigh of relief, a relief that he can no
Yeah.
longer just get online and just torture so many people day in and day out, just relentlessly. So it's a sigh of relief, really, like, oh, you know, and it's sad that it took this to do it, but
Yeah, yeah. But what it is that the fruit of anything that you do eventually comes forth. And you always going to get back what you put out. And so it was eventually somehow, some way it was going to come to a point that it was going to end and probably not end well. So, at this point, you just have to say, All consequences have actions. All actions have consequences, and so it's the free will thing. You have the free will to do what it is that you want to do, but please know that that free will has consequences and it has a price that has to be paid. It's going to be a result of that free will. You made a free will choice to handle things that way, and
And
so
I noticed in one of those messages too that where it was almost as if the alleged tried to place the blame on the female because of her past record.
Mhm.
right,
As her
and
being
that
a
has nothing to
felon
do with his actions.
for the
Right,
same thing. And that's interesting to
apply
me
pressure.
that you would do that. One, what person comes to confront someone about somebody they claim they with or want to be back with, and then turn around and place the blame upon them?
That's human. That's what some humans do. They try to play, they blame their actions on someone else because this happened. But when I saw that, I was like, what has that got to do with your free will choice and decision to take that action and handle it that way? Dr. J, okay.
I'm looking for my eyelash. Y'all see my eyelash?
Yes, ma'am. Uh-huh.
There it is.
Yeah. We see you found it.
But
So
yeah,
yeah.
I hope that, well, I have faith in Clinton. I'm glad
Mm,
it wasn't Jackson. I do.
mm.
I'm glad it wasn't Jackson. So,
Yeah,
I have
he
faith
ain't
in
gonna get it
Clinton.
done.
It's sad to
Yeah.
say that, but I do have faith in Clinton.
Yeah. That's what Melissa was saying earlier, so
Yeah,
yeah.
because
He ain't gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Clinton gonna make an example out of you with a traffic ticket.
Hmm. As they say on the TikTok, you ain't gotta worry about me. You do not have to worry about me. You ain't gotta
One
worry
thing
about
about them,
Clinton.
they're
They
gonna
gonna
make
do
an
what they're supposed to do.
example out of you.
Yeah, it's bad.
When people
So
become
hey,
when people become to think that they are God and that they are the one to, you know, be the
yield
giver
power in
and
in a
taker,
negative way.
you
Yeah.
know, he just has his own way of showing us, you
Yes,
know,
indeed. And humbling us.
and them, So I just want I'm gonna say it again. I just want the Davis family to be encouraged and be uplifted, even in such a time as this. But just know that you all did not lose a loved one, a hero in vain. And I just want to send that out to them.
Thank
Mhm.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What a
Oh, wow.
great message.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, hey, I just as we talk about criminals, y'all might want to go on and tell me where this officer is with this prisoner who
Checked
who
up.
who
So we
who's
talking about
shooting me.
fools. We talking about stupid criminals today.
Okay, who's
They
shooting
almost look
me?
alike.
Yeah,
Well, they got the
who's
They,
same
shooting?
they
last
got the
name.
same last name. Yep, they got the
But
same
they
last
What?
said that
name.
they're
But
Wait,
not
Tip,
see,
related.
what
see
state
how
is
my
this, y'all?
discernment kicked in.
What state was this?
Alabama.
Alabama.
Oh,
There it
really?
is.
You don't
They probably
say.
brother, sister,
Alabama?
and cousin.
You
You
don't
already
say.
know.
Y'all got the
But
same last name?
they say
Cousins?
they're not related, Melissa. They say they
They
are
Oh,
not
it's
probably
in
brother and
related.
Alabama.
sister on one side
They
and
don't
cousins
know.
on the other side.
They
That's what
Alabama.
they say.
I
But
won't laugh at that
Apply
low.
Pressure Jones said they at the nearest trailer park.
I'm not gonna laugh.
well,
But
I I was like, part of it is the fault of the facility also though, because reading the article, it said that they had it in place that he was not supposed to be transported anywhere without having two officer escorts.
Okay.
So
First,
they
how
knew
do you
that.
leave?
So
Yeah. How you leave?
you let
No.
her leave with him supposedly on this appointment, and it was just her. And she's a female, and he's in jail because he killed a female, and you let her go by herself. So part of that, a little bit of that is their fault. Somebody was apparently asleep at the desk when she got ready to escort him out after she told them that she was taking him to this appointment.
Both of their
So,
nose a little crooked to the right.
my next fear is hopefully she's
That's
alive. I
that.
mean, he killed a woman and now she's with him. And what if she trusts him? You could be his next victim, and in the physical, he could kill you. If not, you're his victim to the point that you're gonna be in the jail cell too now if they
Can
find you alive.
Yeah, oh, y'all know, Felicia Brookins, you already know what I'm gonna say.
It's a lot with this. Yeah, count 1st. Yeah.
No, I was whispering white folks. I'm so embarrassed.
I wasn't going. I just
Um,
told you to count.
um, how do
Yes,
you
Lisa.
spend your 25 years working in a hellhole
Hmm.
and you put your resignation in 2 weeks prior?
Yep.
And your last day of 25 years
You
is
do
on
something.
the day that you leave with a convicted murderer to a so called appointment that never existed. So it's a whole lot of heads that should be rolling because it is a process. There
To
should have
even
been
get them out.
paperwork.
Yep.
There should have
So
been paperwork. So you spend 25 years in a hellhole and you don't have a pension. You get nothing, ma'am, for your
But
years
prison.
there.
Yep. And it's
so
probably a joke to him,
have they
if
been
by chance
have
she was
either one
guilty,
of them
he
been
would
found?
her.
Has
No.
They found the car that they was in that was
Yeah.
left at a mall.
Yeah, but they haven't found them. So,
And
the joke again. What if it's to him, it's still just funny. Okay, so I convinced you to be this stupid to run off with me and to help me escape, and then you going to jail and I'm going back for 25 years and I don't care, but you going now.
Oh,
If
if she
she's
makes
alive,
it.
I hope that she
Yep.
is alive, that he doesn't kill her. She
She sold
reportedly
her
said
house.
her house.
What? Oh, Lord, listen, on behalf of the Caucasian community, I am the vice president of.
That girl said she the vice president.
I do not understand why Caucasians do the ish they do committee, and we do not claim her. Neither one of them.
Mm, mm,
No,
mm.
that's
wow.
Well,
shameful.
That's from the head of the committee. I guess y'all heard that.
the VP is spoken. So I just hope they find her alive. Where and it's sad that that everything is going down the drain now for somebody who was in a hopeless situation. Now he's got you in that situation. I just pray she's alive.
But listen, we gotta put this into context.
Caroline,
Um,
what's that?
69,000. She
For
sold her
what?
house for
She saw her. Oh Lord.
$69,000.
Yeah, he gonna take every dime of that. He gonna leave
listen,
her
but listen
everything.
though, she was second in command. How many people who worked under her was going to say something to her and stop her as she was leaving out the jail? Think
I'm
about
not
that.
saying nothing.
Yeah,
First, I'm
but
not saying
even
nothing, and
with
I'm not even
that,
coming back to work. Nope.
even with
You're
that,
gonna be the number two suspect. They're
I'll
gonna
be in
sue
the
her at your
unemployment
house.
line.
so
Mm-mm,
nobody considered
mm-mm.
the policy
Check
where
the
he was supposed
cameras.
to be escorted by two
Check the
people.
cameras. Nope.
she maybe they had a really
They
great
might have had
escape
another
plan.
accomplice in some way because it was written in the policy that he was supposed to be escorted, transported at all times with two people, and you let her walk out there with just him.
Well, it don't
Well,
seem
they
like no one let her walk out with just him. Seems like she made the call to
She
just walk
did. She said that they were understaffed and there was not enough people working at the jail to even
Hmm.
have one person leave the jail with her. And that she was going to handle it and she would stay in
Okay.
constant contact with them
Okay.
until they were to return back to the prison, at which
Okay.
time they never heard from her again.
No. Well, just so everybody know that's on his panel and that's watching, it ain't not now that's created. That's that good. Not for me. All right.
I
No.
don't know name,
Just let me just put that disclaimer out there. I don't even care. It
but
ain't
it starts with
never.
self-love. When you love other people, you don't treat people a certain way. And so I can tell if a person really loved themselves by how they treat me. So
Mm.
we just gotta be
maybe
mindful of that.
they went on across the border.
Well, they gonna get them over there
I hope
too.
they go farther than New Orleans.
Nope. No, ma'am. No.
Oh,
I am not
the
even.
That's what
last
I'm saying,
suspect
Carol.
was
Well, you know,
out
Carol,
in
they might
Louisiana,
have. Maybe
wasn't
she
it?
was sneaking them in the office, Carol. Who knows? She was doing
Criminals,
something.
criminal people, criminal people.
You spent
Don't
25
y'all
years
watch
seeing
CSI
the most
Miami? I need you to watch 5 episodes of CSI Miami,
Because they
three
ain't telling
episodes
nothing.
of New
for
York
the first
Undercover,
48. The first
two,
48.
two, two episodes of First 48.
Yes.
Like,
They
y'all
don't
the
care.
dumbest criminals ever.
They probably getting something extra just to turn them back. Ain't no telling what all she was doing for them. Whatever he was benefiting from it, that he was probably also sharing that with them.
Wait,
I
does she
Again,
believe there
know?
was some kin.
Carol Ann seems to know a whole lot about this, but Carol Ann, does she have children? Does she have an ex-husband?
oh
What
my
do we know
gosh.
about her family?
We just got a full prayer list tonight. That's what that is. Just a full prayer
Baby,
list.
I'm not finna keep wasting my prayers.
Just don't.
Hey,
I know
listen,
what
I'm
though.
glad you
Pray that
said
she
it
be
first.
found alive. That's my biggest
I,
concern.
yeah,
With knowing that he
but
killed the woman and that's why he's in jail, I hope he doesn't kill
I'm
her.
trying to
as
send me a
far
little
as
timber up. I'm not finna
it,
waste my timber on this foolishness.
as far as the criminals are concerned, and this is God is still working on me. Ooh, but I just hadn't found it in my heart to pray for the criminals, even the alleged. I have not.
No,
I
I don't
guess
mind
even
praying
that.
for them, but I just need them to understand that, even in praying, for you, you got to understand now what is to be will be. So,
All
All
things
actions have a
work
consequence.
together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. Y'all, there are no mistakes. Even the things we don't want to go through is working out for our good. And if we
Mhm.
just remember that when we're going through a storm, look, Jesus said we're going to the other side. So anytime
Mhm.
a storm comes, just remember, he said we were going to the other side.
Stand steady. Yeah, don't making these crazy decisions. Their free will is, I'm telling you, free will is one of the most dangerous things he ever gave us. I'm here, Danielle.
Then yeah, click the link and join us. We know you got a lot to say.
It's just been a real like anxiety ridden week. I mean, I don't know if this was on the topic list, but there's two more incidences that happened in the city of Jackson where two teenagers lost their life. One of them hasn't really
Yes.
even been talked about. They were sitting in a car in a neighborhood, and a 14-year-old freshman that went to Murrah was killed the same night that the young man at the Mudbug Festival. It's just been anxiety ridden. I don't
and
know if y'all have felt it,
and
but I just
y'all, both of those hit close for me because both of
Traumatic.
the parents of both of those boys are my classmates. We both of those parents of those
Heartbreaking.
boys, the moms, we grew up together, and
Heartbreaking. That's it.
and it just it's just so unreal. Like,
Yeah.
it's sad, but
Yeah.
like I said earlier when I came on, um, we're living in a time.
Devastating.
Laugh now, cry later.
Mhm.
It's not so. It's all fun and games when you got your boys and your children and stuff with the $100 bills rolled up their arm and the gats
Yeah.
and grinning and it's all fun and cute when they cussing you out and carrying on.
Mhm.
But then that day comes, the day that everybody dreads, every parent, every family member dreads,
Yep.
and then
Dread
it's
that.
uh-oh, oops, laugh now, cry later, and you know my heart goes out to everybody. You know,
Because it's heartbreaking. It's
it's
heartbreaking
just
that you're
heartbreaking. Like
dead.
you just have a loss of words because it's so much you can say, then it's so much you can't say. It's just a tug of war. You know,
It's
nobody deserves to be gunned down like that. And then it's senseless. These kids, 15 to 16-year
Yep.
old,
Their
commit
futures just
murders like
shot.
that.
Yep. Their
I'm talking about
futures
blowing
just
folks'
shot.
head off.
Yeah.
and ain't caring nothing about it.
No, it's heartbreaking to see your babies go, to see the young men and women, young men and young girls doing those things and killing each other and killing off generations and legacies and
You in the middle of a
ending
mud book,
the
a
futures you're
festival.
supposed to have or could have if you had made different decisions, and then nobody being in their life to help them with peer pressure, and self-esteem issues, and then somebody ends up dead. It's just sad to see our young black boys, our children, anybody's child really, the young people just cut short. That somebody had a picture of the young man on the ground with the blood just coming out of his head, and I was like,
And that was my
that
classmate's
was
son.
that was just heartbreaking to see that baby laid on that ground, regardless, to see his body laid on that street, on that asphalt, with blood just coming out like that. We as a people see those pictures too often, historically have seen it too much. And it was done by the enemy, people who hated us, and now it's like we just done imploded and are doing it. Our children, who the fight was for, are now turning and being ungrateful and caught up in this stuff and are killing each other. It's
It's
horrible.
the, it's the Willie Lynch syndrome.
It's
In
horrible.
that letter, he told them, if you listen to me and incorporate my methods, you will control the slaves for the next 300 years. He said, my methods are simple. All you got to do is put the young against the old,
Turn them against
the
each other.
house Negro against the field Negro. He said, all you're doing is putting them against each other. And that
Yeah.
same method has worked today. And it's
Yep.
so sad that we got to be aware. We say we so woke, yet we so sleep.
They killing each other over sides of neighborhoods. This street, this area. You don't own it. And they don't understand that you killing each other over something that's not even yours. That side of the sidewalk ain't yours. That sign, that store, that park. No, you don't even own property in this area. You could be just renting it, or hey, somebody else owns it and you're killing each other. Oh, don't come on my side of the street. Don't come on. Or what
Stuff.
happened to us teaching them we got to teach a different way to resolve issues, a different way to deal with anger. But the examples
Who
that they have and that they see are what they think makes a man and causes somebody to respect you. They don't have the right examples of what that is. And so for
who's gonna teach you
them,
when everybody the same age?
well, I'm saying that's the importance of mentors.
I know,
That's
but
the
I'm
importance of
saying
older members in the community.
who are the mentors these days, this day and time when everybody is the same age?
You're saying
So,
that some of
so
them mentally act that
people
way,
like
but
me,
everybody's
people
not.
like
You still
me
have some
that was
people
a
that are
teen
not.
mom who
Right,
changed their lives. And just like if I can change my life, you can change your life too.
right.
So I tell people, don't write people off just because they're young. I was 15 when I became a mom. And when I tell you that my son changed my life forever, baby, listen,
Yeah.
again, there are no mistakes. Everything happened for a reason. And if we just believe it.
So let's
I agree.
again
I
put
agree.
them on
It's a
the prayer
mindset.
list.
It's a mindset that you have
Yeah.
to one, you have to get there.
Yep.
Two, you have to want to.
Yep, you got to do the work.
And you got to have motivation and
And
encouragement
and
to
what
do
we're
that.
seeing in the, I could be wrong, but as Dr. J said, as a 15-year-old mom,
Can
her
these
child
bones
changed her
live?
life. She decided to do X, Y, and Z. There were so many more, in my opinion, examples at that time still. There are examples now, but they are so few in between.
Yeah.
And a lot of the examples are so, I feel like, disheartened and feel unappreciated till
To see the
they wash
difference.
their hands with it, which is sad. But you have, you got the grandmother is 25,
Yeah.
the mother 17, with a child, with a 3-year-old.
Mhm.
One just have made it to adulthood. You got one not ready to be grown and go out when you got one still trying to hit the club.
So I like to push back when people have these conversations. You know, Mary was 14 when she got pregnant with Jesus.
Absolutely. 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 Absolutely she was.
So I guess why did God see fit to, at that age, bless her with the Savior of the world?
So I'm not, it's not the age of, for me, of giving birth or
Great point.
becoming, pregnant with the child. What it is the world that we're in and what's going on with these adolescents that are becoming, you know what I'm
And
saying,
how they're being brought up and the
blessed.
values and examples they're being
And
shown.
they don't have, I'm sorry, but the tools aren't there as they should be. It's evident. Why? 15 and 16-year-olds are walking around here with ARs blowing up festivals.
Another
And
group on the prayer list.
I guarantee you that 14 and that 15-year-old, 16-year-old mother may be 30. Maybe.
I don't see the link. Oh, she's looking for the link.
It's in the
Maybe
group.
30. And I'm not discrediting because I was very mature and knew better at a young age. You know what I'm saying? I was very mature for my age. However, there were just so many more
Other factors and influences,
absolutely.
that have gotten
It was
to this point. So, and
you know,
everybody's parents in this case and families still need prayer. Even if you're not
true.
the best parent and you're immature parent and you haven't made the best decision and may not have done as you should as a parent, your child in their youth and their mindset and sometimes in their foolishness has done a grave thing. And now everybody's devastated by it. Because like you said, at first it's kind of cute, or we just kind of ignore what you do, just whatever. Or you may have the mom that was preaching and praying every day. Come out the streets, come out the streets, come out the streets. Leave that group alone. Leave that group alone because they holding up their tents like this. Something's gonna happen, and that child is not listening. That you don't know what you're talking about. I don't believe that. And now you got 3 families that you need to pray deeply for, because even with those little boys, they have no idea, not really, what they are about to walk into because of what they have done. They just TV can't even truly prepare you for that.
Oh
And
no.
there's nothing that mama or daddy or grandma or auntie can do for you at this point, but pray that you make it out if you get out, or that you make it through, and you mature and learn from the era, the grave era and damage that you have done.
I'm thankful that I got a whiff of Muddia and Big Mama and
Right.
Paw and them, as they say, and
Nah,
them, not
and
them
then
and them.
and all the
I'm thankful
aunties
for
that
that
came along
because
with it.
it was just a different upbringing. It was
Yeah.
just so different. That
Yeah.
village was really a village.
Yes.
Now there's no such
And,
thing as no village. It's
and they
all for
had
self.
respect. You had
It's all for
respect for
self.
them.
You can't say nothing to my child, and I
Hmm.
ain't saying nothing to yours. If I'm saying something to yours, it's because I'm going off. It's just a difference. It's a different world.
Yeah, it's really sad. I
But
just,
I'm
my
still
heart broke.
trusting and believing that God's still gonna do what He's supposed to do His thing because He said it, and He is one that He cannot lie. So whatever this world is what it's supposed to be, and
Because his word is right. It's gonna fulfill itself. These things are gonna
Yeah,
happen.
it's a hard pill to swallow, but it is. It's what it's
I
supposed to
can't
be.
take no more of this. We got to change the temperature. It's too hot. It's too hot up in here.
Too hot.
So, hold on, Danielle, look here before we change the temperature. Ah,
Pop the
hold
fan.
on, Danielle, look here before we change the temperature. Ah, so close your one of your windows. Danielle, we hear me. Backbeat.
Yeah, it's what they call it, reverberating.
Okay.
Backbeat.
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, Danielle, what are your thoughts about the events that occurred the last few days?
Y'all, this has been 1 week of I remember during the flag visual when we were praying every Thursday for the flag to come down a few years ago. And Bishop Thomas Jenkins said that there was a curse over the state of Mississippi.
Mm.
Then he went on to say that it was a curse over the city of Jackson.
Mm.
And I just see that even the more I'm beginning to understand exactly what he's saying. And when we talk about how dysfunctional and disordered the state of Mississippi is altogether, you have to contribute it to leadership, right? And so even when we're talking about church and how when churches are out of order, where the dysfunctional start. And I always tell people order starts at the top, not in the middle, not at the bottom, but order starts at the top. So if the top is out of order, you can expect the middle and the bottom to be just as dysfunctional and it's out of order as well. And that's what we're seeing here. One of the things here in Mississippi we're seeing is that we want to blame the black man before we hold the white man accountable for anything that has happened, right? If y'all look at how Tate Reeves was so hesitant and he had such an ugly look on his face the other day when he had to do that press conference about what happened at the state fair. Now this is the same state fairgrounds. I mean, not the state fair, the Mudbug Festival on the state fairgrounds. This is the same fairground where the gun shows are held, right? These are the fairgrounds where you say you all weren't going to stop the gun shows because guns were the problem. No one is ever addressing this open carry law, right? That allows these young men to have such free access to these weapons. I tell people all the time, you have to dissect the law. You have to know the law in order to know what's the problem. Anytime a police officer cannot approach an individual, even if they suspect that individual may be a convicted felon or shouldn't have that gun or that gun is illegal or what, the law tells them that they cannot approach any individual. You are violating an individual's constitutional right. The only way the police officers can approach any individual is after the commission of a crime.
When it's too late.
When it's too late.
Yeah.
Wow. That was some good information, and thank you. Like, we still need those prayers, and I do believe that not only is Mississippi cursed, but this nation, and we have to. We're gonna have to pay for, our sins. Even everybody talking about old Abraham, and they like Abraham Lincoln. He freed the slaves by accident, but one of the quotes that he said was, that I know America justice won't sleep forever. So he also said that we can't survive half free and half slave. And so we still divided. A house divided will always fall.
We're too divided because instead of us trying to run this race together, we're running against each other. And for what I don't understand, we're running against each other to stay defeated. You got 10 of the same organizations and people are popping up with the same organizations every day. I tell people all the time, the last thing Mississippi needs is a 501c3, another one. Talking about fighting for the rights of the people. Why is it so hard for people to just join on board with what's already happening, right? And let us fight together. But you won't find that because our egos keep us in place. And everybody thinks that they're supposed to be the chief and not the Indians, right? And so nobody wants to support a Dr. J fabulous life, right? I had the opportunity to really go to Tougaloo College and see the impact one year that she's actually making on these children. But instead of, and she's been doing this for years. I didn't even know who Dr. J was when she said that long blonde hair, slim waist, you know. I was like, oh, okay. And then they was like, she from Holmes County. I'm like, she don't look like she from no Holmes County.
Really, Jay?
Yeah, Jay. Yeah. So, but then what you see is another 30, 40 of these other organizations, and what they're not consistent, right? But they're there just for a moment to get on a postcard or a flyer, and then you're gonna have one session,
thousands of dollars.
And then you got these families thinking you're gonna do something with their daughter. You don't follow back up, and now their child is falling by the wayside because they thinking that you have something constructive for them when they don't know that you were BSing all along. You weren't really serious, right?
And making money and walking off with it.
501c3 is the fastest way for a lazy ass to make money.
Well, just say it, Jay. Say what you mean.
Because they don't do right by that federal money. Now, that's just what that is.
And a lot of it is federal money, you know, a lot of
even donations. But I'm just saying that's the fastest way for a lazy ass to get them some quick millions. Now, I'm just gonna be honest about it. If you could get you a 501c3 and you could become accredited and everything that you need to be, guess what? Okay, give yourself a year and a half, 2 years, and guess what?
And depending on who it is.
That's why they can't. That's why so many can't join together or join forces or become helpmates to others. They have to have their own, because I know Dr. J getting her $500,000 for her grant. Oh, well, shoot, let me get my grant written. I'm gonna get me $500,000 too to say the same thing. I'm helping people with diabetes too. I'm doing the work. I'm in the
who it is.
You know, and that's just what it is. You know,
people are getting this money and not helping people.
That's just what it is. They're walking around with these organization titles and they're not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? But
example, the Brett Favre scandal. Well, they don't want to call it that, but you know.
Well, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
I've seen some folks really living their best life, and you ask the people in the community, have they ever heard of their organization? They'd be like,
they never heard of it.
They never did nothing.
I've never seen anybody. But every time
who said they were down in Holmes County and Greenwood fighting, you know, they had this, and I'm like, so I began to ask people in the community, have you ever heard of this organization? And I'm like, they like, huh? No, we ain't heard of them.
We ain't seen not a t-shirt or a flyer. We don't know nothing about it.
But when that quarter in and it's time to turn in them numbers, they got all kind of numbers and names.
That fiscal year, they got a report, don't they?
All kinds of numbers and names from every which you play.
Yep. Also, but going back to this, these young men that are doing the killing, and it's a lot of these 14, 15-year-olds, a lot of them not even over than 17. Right. But whenever you have judges, I'm concerned. I have an issue with one of the young men having a prior felony record, right, of some serious charges.
Yep, he was out.
At that point, when that young man, and he's 15, maybe 16 now, so that tells me at the age of 13, 14, he had issues. And it was at that point that when he committed such a heinous act, then that the system failed him in not getting him the necessary help that he needed, so that he wouldn't go back out there and do the very same thing. But then
they want him to.
It's almost a setup. It's a setup.
Yeah, they want him to, so they can fill the jails. They already, you know, it's like from schools to prison. That pipeline. Yeah, they know he did it. So they just wait. They just saying he'll be back. We just gonna wait, put him back on the street. He'll be back. He gonna do something bad enough where we get to lock him up for 20, 30, or 40 years and take away almost his whole life from doing.
I wouldn't even say that, because they get back out, do another crime, and he'll get another bond here in Hinds County. I know personally firsthand. My godson's killer is back out on bond, right? First of all, he was granted bond. And then when he was granted bond while out on bond, he violated his ankle monitoring 22 times.
Wow.
It took them 3 months to
wow.
get him a court date after. Now, normally when you violate, you just get locked back up and you wait to go back to court before the judge. Well, this time, this young man violated 22 times. When he went back before this particular judge, she told him she was giving him 6 months to think about his 22 violations. This young man had a whole party while on ankle monitoring what is it, downtown Johnny T's. You know, all on social media, living the life on social media at 4th Avenue on an ankle monitor. So the 6 months, that was in December, going to the 6 months. Well, somehow the judge he came back before the judge for a status hearing in 4 months. And she said, and she let him out. Just for the hell of it.
It's such a double-edged sword because you have to be held accountable for your crimes, for your actions. You have to be. And then again, it triggers for me and say, damn, it's another one of my brothers. It's another one of my sisters. I'm tired of throwing us away, but at the same time, I'm tired of us committing the same crimes and actions. And it becomes that tug of war and that double-edged sword. It's almost like, continue to throw them away, continue to give them a chance, continually throw them away, or continually give them a chance. It's a tug of war and a hard thing, but you have to be held accountable for the decisions that we make. I learned that personally, really hard, Nobody owes you anything. Nobody has to do anything for you.
That's right.
Nobody has to give you anything. I don't care how blessed, how favored you are, who God has put in your life. None of that. Nobody has to do anything for you. And that's how I learned. That was my way of learning, But it's so hard. It's a tug of war. Am I going to give my people a chance constantly? Am I going to throw them away constantly? How are they going to be held accountable for their actions?
And it's going to take us.
Yeah.
Holding people accountable. Go ahead, Danielle.
I was just going to say, I don't believe in torture, but I do believe everybody has to be held accountable. Yes. Right? And when you think about individuals being gunned down, just like cold-blooded gunned down, and you think about the pain these mothers are feeling, and just to see the judicial system play on the family's emotions, the lack of respect
they play devil's advocate,
and regardless to whether you know the family or not, that has nothing to do with this family wanting to see justice for their loved ones. And I understand, bond is just to make sure that you're able to make a jail. When you first go to jail, it's not a lie. It's not your sentence. So this is what Hinds County uses to let folks freely go get out on bail, regardless to what crime they commit. Even today, when they arrested the individual in Louisiana, hell, I suspect he's going to get bond. Everybody else is getting it. Everybody else is getting it. I've seen people do exactly what he has done and got a $50,000 bond.
I don't know about Clinton, though.
Clinton, but what you're talking about is the Hinds County courts. So he still has to go before a county judge, if I'm not mistaken. And even if he don't go before a county judge this time, when he goes back for his arraignment, he has to go before one of those judges who have been letting folks out on $25,000 and $50,000 bonds, $75,000 bonds for these cold-blooded murders. Now, I don't know what happened or transpired with that situation, and my heart goes out to the individual that lost his life. I didn't know him either, but it's sad. It's sad. You don't have a win with the judicial system. And then by the time you do go to court, the evidence is lost.
And it wasn't made for us. We have to keep that in mind.
Right. A year and a half
later. You
lose
what you never did get anyway.
A year and a half later, they're saying, well, my godson's evidence has never been checked in.
Wow.
I told my godsons, I said, listen, baby, don't expect justice here in Hinds County for your son. I'm going to go and prepare you for this hard, what you're about to see come in the next few months. Right? You have a DA, you have one of the investigators saying they didn't, assistant DA said, oh, well, we didn't know that the judge made this ruling. They didn't even consult with the DA's office. So now they're throwing each other under the bus. And then you have an investigator that come in and say, oh, yeah, we talked about this case. We knew he was getting out, so everybody lying. But while I'm in there hollering and cursing them out and going crazy, they telling me to calm down. I told them, you don't tell me to calm down. You calm your ass down and get it together.
Wow. Look, I feel you. I'm moving slow because I'm sick, y'all. I ate something that didn't agree with me, and I have a fever. I'm just sweating. So I'm here, but so. Any final thoughts that you all would like to share with our listeners?
I would just make a plea for, after this Roe versus Wade, this leak of the draft of an opinion from our Supreme Court justices, we see now what we've been doing here, and this is a Mississippi case that is going to overturn Roe versus Wade. If we don't get it together and come together and fight and put our differences aside, or who I think that I got the answer to the problem here in Mississippi and ain't moved shit, excuse my French, we gotta come together and fight, because they tap dancing on our heads and they're winning. You got right-wing organizations calling themselves grassroots organizations. They are modeling, they now have a leadership institute, things that they never had before. They come in for everything black.
They know what they're doing.
And we sitting up still trying to race against each other to stay defeated.
Wow. Powerful. Thank you for sharing it. Jay, your final words?
Well, it's rare that I'm speechless. It's rare, very rare, that I really don't have anything to say. I don't know. It's heavy.
Yes.
Everything is so heavy because when you are someone who truly loves, just to see love not shown and love not reciprocated, it's heavy. It's heavy on me. My prayers just go out to right now to all of these parents, all of these families. I'm at a loss of words. I don't even have a final thought. I mean, this tonight's show is, I have nothing else to say. Because I don't have an answer, if that makes sense. You know what I always say? If you don't say nothing, you're a part of the problem. But then you can say something or speak on it, but you really don't have a solution, then you should be quiet. That's kind of the thing. I don't have a solution. It's far beyond me. Outside of prayer, I have no solution. I really don't have anything to say again at this moment.
Well, thank you so much for that. And Miss Felicia, final words.
Um, I would just kind of maybe lighten up the mood just a little bit and encourage us to inspire each other to do better, inspire each other to do the right thing and the just thing, and to cheer each other on when we do so. And even if we don't, to encourage the person to get up and to make a better decision and to do something different that's positive. And Dr. J, I just want to say thank you for your commitment and dedication, to even stick through this, even through the difficult times for you, because you being a trooper tonight. So I appreciate you. And get well soon.
Thank you so much. Usually I will have something to say, but like I say, I'm not feeling my best. But we
Right.
really, really appreciate people for watching A View from the Sim. Thank
That's
you
it.
all so
Thank
much.
you.
Make sure you all
Later,
tune
Jay.
in next week, same time, same place.
A View from the Sim.
And we shall see y'all next week.
Amen.
To stay informed about what's happening right here in Jackson, Mississippi, keep it locked to A View from the SIP.